Live, are we live? Okay, we're live. Hello everyone, welcome to Mad Red United. Welcome to the video, welcome to today's live stream. Hope you're all well. Today we're going international Manchester United. As you can see, I'm joined by Tim. Tim, how are you doing, mate?
I'm pretty good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, mate. Weather looks absolutely glorious where you are there, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, and it's like a bank holiday weekend here for us. It's kind of like our St. George's Day. It's Canada Day tomorrow, so got the pool ready to go, and got some mates coming over for a few cans later, and a good night.
Sounds pretty good to me, mate. Sounds pretty good to me. So before we get into everything topic-wise, I'm just going to say, just introduce us and let us know exactly how it all started with you following United, Tim. What was it? What was the day? What was it that gripped you with United? So everyone can understand what it's like coming from across the pond and following United from where you are, how it is. Where did it all get going, mate?
Well, it pretty much all got going. And he's made it.
So we're having a bit of a connection issue at the moment. This was bound to happen at some point in one of these live streams. I'm just going to keep talking for a second. Yeah, I think we're back with Tim now. Sorry, mate, we lost you for a second there, mate.
It's okay, mate. Yeah, so as I was saying, back in the 90s, it was kind of difficult to get games over here, and then all of a sudden, in the late 90s, some of the broadcasters in America and Canada started buying we got to see United on a more regular basis. I mean, it was always United for me up till that point. My great-grandfather was treasurer of Lancashire County Cricket Club, and my grandfather and the family lived on Warwick Road across from Old Trafford Cricket Ground. Still have a lot of family over there with Stockton's Furniture on Ancoat Street. Familiar with that shop or not? But yeah, finally I got over to my first trip over to Old Trafford was in the Trell season, and I was 18 at the time, and my first match was United against Villa, and Bex won it with a Beckham special free kick, and I was hooked after that, mate. I was hooked before that, but once you go to Old Trafford, I know it's tough for international fans to sort of travel and sometimes to get there, but if as an international fan, if you ever have a chance to get to Old Trafford, there's just nothing like it.
Yeah, no, mate, no, I feel it. I remember my first game. Never forget it. I was actually standing up. There was no seats, which was brilliant. God, do anything to bring back them days when it was easier to go and watch United, and it actually had more atmosphere and had a lot more going on. Okay, so
Absolutely.
Starting off with everything that's happened this week, I'm going to start on a positive note because obviously we all know I did the video the other day. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, United's second signing of the summer. Obviously, it does seem to be like we are going down this road now with the transfers. We are seeing a bit of a set pattern. It started with the rumours about the younger players that we were looking at, but the two signings that we've made already now, both under 21s, both internationals. Well, Bissaka under 21 international, but obviously we know Daniel James is fully bled into the Wales squad now as well. So looking down the younger route, and it does look like Ole is pretty much set his stall out in this, because obviously we've seen the news today, and I think it broke yesterday, Ed Woodward's email to a lot of the United staff actually saying that we are looking and working behind the scenes to look towards more players for United's future and the way the actual club want to go in the future, and the way Ole is looking at it, and that is obviously looking down the routes of younger players we can mould, players who have got more potential going forward. Obviously for Ed Woodward, a bit of a sell-on value as well. Let's not forget about the money. Ed loves to think money when he's doing these transfers as well. But for me, personally, the Wan-Bissaka deal I thought was really good business. For what we paid, I thought was good. The contract, the wages, some people have said he's gone from 10,000 to 80,000 a week. Why did it have to be that sort of jump? I mean, to be honest, he's got a 5-year contract there, and I can't see that wage changing in the next 4 years. And we are buying a potentially excellent right back here. So for me, I was happy with every aspect of the deal. Yeah, it dragged on a little bit, Tim, but for you, are you agreeing with that? I can't see any fault in this transfer at all. It was the only good thing besides James to come out with a summer, mate. What are you reckoning now? How did you see it? Happy with that?
Absolutely. And, as you touched on, the amount that we paid for him was, I never thought I would say shrewd piece of business with Ed Woodward. He's been absolute that negotiating that transfer with the amount of teams, sort of circling around the Shark Tank. Tremendous young player. But to be able to get him for what we got him for was just, when he first saw what he was bought for, I looked at the price and was like, I can't believe that's all he's cost us. To be honest, I thought Crystal Palace, knowing how desperate United were coming into this transfer window, would absolutely rake us over the coals. So it's a terrific piece of business, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we look at it now, we've got 2 players in there, James and Bissaka, for a cost of between them 65 million. It's not too bad a start. I mean, it's not over the top prices. It doesn't now, like I said before, looking at all these younger players, it does now look like we're not going to be going for the marquee signings again. We're not rumoured to be or we're not linked with anyone, I should say, in terms of what you would say a marquee signing was. We've had the stupid rumours that people make up, which, like the Neymars and things like that, which just has never really worked for United. Every time we've gone down the road of marquee signing, it's never really worked for us. I mean, you could say Pogba, he has performed in some parts, but for me, Pogba's still not, because he grew up with United. He was brought through United's academy. I wasn't classing Pogba as the marquee, even though you could say with the price tag he was, but marquee signings is not the way forward for United, and we've proved it the last 6 years. It's been failure after failure with every single one of them that has come in, going from Di Maria, which was a British record at the time, the Falcao deal, established, well-known, world-class players that just don't seem to be able to cut it when it comes to stepping out on the Old Trafford pitch, and we have been let down massively so many times by these marquee signings that it has, and you can actually see where Ollie is going with these younger signings. Next, of course, obviously, is another signing, another link with another young player, and we are all sat here waiting because we do know that we need more than Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James. So next, we're looking at rumour-wise, Sean Longstaff, he's one, but Bruno Fernandes, I think for me now has to be the next target. We can't just go out and buy all young. I was happy with this younger outlook on everything, on the way we're going to move forward. I do agree that, but it has to be mixed surely with some established, well-known, well, not so much well-known, but established players who have been playing for a long amount of time and have played at a decent level. And Bruno Fernandes playing alongside Ronaldo in that quality outfit of a Portugal team and not looking out of place seems to fit all bills for us. He just seems to fill that void that we have been missing for so many years, especially if Pogba does go as well. Bruno Fernandes, one for you, Tim, definite, or is it someone else we should be looking at besides him?
No, I think you're bang on, mate. And just kind of piggybacking off what you said about the vision that Ole has now. It's really been something that's been missing from this club over the last few years, hasn't it? And bringing in those marquee signings. And Gary, I think Gary Neville said it best last year when he was talking about sort of the ethos for the way United plays has been laid, and no manager now should be allowed to come in and sort of change from that history of good young attacking footballers that are going to lift people off their seats. And I think now what we're seeing with Ole is, and particularly with these two signings, is a clear vision. Like you said, we've gone for the marquee signing. I mean, Parma Sanchez doing one with our wage, what did that transfer offer? And you need to look at players that sort of fit into your system in the way that, you need quality for sure, but you need players that are going to be able to come in and fit into spots and multiple spots within your system as well, in the way that you want to play. And then, like you said, you need to go out, once you bring in those younger players, you need to bring in some experienced players and get the mix right. Experienced players that have played on the highest stage and have turned out with other big players. And certainly for me, Bruno Fernandes, fits that mold. I think I was looking the other day. He's got 30. You're going to get goals from the midfield too. I think he averages about a goal every third game. So certainly for me, a player that, how can you say no if he's available? And again, another player with terms of what we're rumored to be negotiating to bring him in. I think it was.
Yeah, sorry Tim, your signal's just gone out again there a little bit, mate. Sorry. It's alright, buddy, don't worry about it. We'll just deal with it as it goes, mate. Don't worry about that. But yeah, no, pretty much got the gist of where you was going with Bruno Fernandes there. It's guaranteed assists, it's guaranteed goals. We have lacked backup for our strikers, apart from Pogba, obviously, who was our leading goal scorer last season, but he seemed to be all relying on Pogba. Pogba didn't play for United, which coming towards the end of last season was quite frequent. I think he had sort of given up with a lot of the players who were playing around him. We couldn't get a settled team, and midfield has been a massive issue for us this season. Obviously, now that we're looking to rectify, there's so many positions at United that need sorting at the moment. I think if you offered anyone the choice, or if you said to any United fan, the start of next season, you wouldn't have Ashley Young playing at right back or starting at right back for United, then instantly everyone would snatch your hand off at that. That would have been one of the first issues on everyone's list at United, to finally get Ashley Young out of that team and buy a right back who is actually a right back, who isn't one to play on right wing, who isn't one who can play at centre back or at left back. We actually bought a player who's young, who's got potential, and actually plays in the position that we bought him for. It was an absolute no-brainer of a deal. But going over to, again, touching on what I just said there with other issues around the pitch, Bruno Fernandes, hopefully, if we do get that deal, obviously now, being said, and rumours coming out a weekend that we are the only club in for Bruno Fernandes. Now, I can't see us not getting that if indeed we are in, and it's not all rumours. But another issue that we do have, obviously, is back in defence again, and another season, we can't go through another pre-season and not rectify the centre-back issue. Now, there are a few options out there for us at the moment. Don't get me wrong, the options aren't getting any bigger. We've got a couple that are just there and are gettable. For me, in Diaz, also from the Portuguese league in Benfica, ex-teammate of Victor Lindelof. A lot of people would say that's a no-brainer. And then we're obviously rumoured to be in for Diop from West Ham. Bonus of that is the rumour being that we are looking to offload a player in that deal also for Diop, and that player apparently is Phil Jones, and that would be my summer absolutely made up.
That would make you happy, mate.
That would just complete me right now if that was part of that deal. I do personally think we need two centre backs if we're going to buy a young up and coming one, to add a bit more zest, a bit more control in terms of energy levels and on the ball at the back. Definitely need someone like that who's a bit livelier than Jones and Smalling. Definitely Rojo. Right. But we do need two centre backs for me. We do need an experienced centre back as well. People have obviously said Alderweireld from Spurs. I don't think United will ever buy another player. Well, Daniel Levy is at Spurs. I just don't think he has ever lived it down, and Ed Woodward would not be able to crack a deal with Daniel Levy to save his life. So I'm totally counting out. Unless he leaves on a free, we're not getting any player from Spurs. So In terms of centre-backs, obviously there's Maguire, but heavily rumoured to be going to Manchester City now. So the three that stand out, you could look at Maguire, like we just said, Diaz from Benfica.
Koulibaly.
Yeah, again, Koulibaly, it's that price tag. And has Ed Woodward got the nous? Yeah. It's been rumoured that we're actually going for players that we're the only team in for. We're trying to pick out easier targets to negotiate, which is a bit of a bottle job for me. Centre-backs out there, Tim, you mentioned Koulibaly there. Who would you go for if we had one to pick from them four? We definitely need one. Who would you go all out for? Because it's a position we need to sort.
For me, it's always been Koulibaly. And I know what you're saying with the transfer fee and Woodward. Baby steps, Ed. Let's not get. He's going to get bullied in the transfer. In relative, I mean, he set the bar pretty into this transfer market in terms of what he had to deliver based on his previous forays into the market. So now with these two signings, I'm hoping that gives him a bit of confidence, gives the manager, everyone around the club a bit of confidence, and maybe it helps United get their swagger back. And like you said, we have so many holes to fill, and I think for me, center back, I mean, with the Chuckle brothers last season, mate, we can't have that again. And so, I thought that obviously Lindelof was great, the Iceman, but it's Koulibaly for me, man, to be perfectly honest.
He ticks an awful lot of boxes, to be honest. Koulibaly, decent on the ball, a beast of a man, strong, quick as well, powerful. Yeah. He sort of becomes in the mold of a Yap Stam and Manjevic sort of character. Again, it's another one, and I think United have looked sort of British-wise or British-based-wise, you could say. And I can understand why, because a lot of players that we have brought in have took a long time to try and adapt, or just completely not adapted at all. I mean, I think Victor Lindelof's season last year, like you said, was awesome. I love Victor Lindelof, but his second season was definitely better. Took him a season to get to it. Are we going to see that with Fred this season? He just looked lost last year. And it's a case of, can they handle being at United? I know that also brings a worry with the younger players as well. Can them coming from smaller clubs actually adapt to the lifestyle of being a Manchester United player as well as playing on the pitch? Because the pressure is on another scale. We keep going on about this, but this is what we have to take into consideration when we get these players coming through, and that's what I think Ollie is also looking at. He's going in depth at the character of the guys, and we've all heard what Wilfried Zaha was talking about, Wan-Bissaka, saying he's just a lad. He wouldn't speak to anyone if you didn't ask him. He just gets in, does his job, trains, comes in, plays. The same with Daniel James. There's been a lot said about his mentality, and there's two obvious ones straight away that Ollie knows. If he sits them down in that dressing room, then he is going to be able to get into their head straight away. He's picking, some people would say he's picking easy targets, people he can actually get through to, and he's sort of swaying away from the challenge of taking the big players, the ones that need the nurturing more, the ones that are more of a challenge. And we'll get on to a few of them that are in our squad in a minute. But in terms of,
I think. Sorry, go ahead, mate. Finish off.
No, it's good, mate. It's all right. Go on. You carry on, mate. I was going to introduce you to that bit anyway, then.
Just get it. Yeah, the character thing, mate. I just think that when you have somebody with Ole that's been at the club and knows the type of character that it takes to be a Manchester United player. I remember hearing a story from Patrice Evra. He met with David Gill and Fergie, and the first thing they said to him was, "Look, everyone wants to play in the big games. You're going to get up to play against Arsenal. You're going to get up to play in the Champions League. How are you going to lift yourself to play, midweek at Norwich or wherever it is that you're expected to play?" And that's part of being a United player. And we saw that so many times last season, mate, where we turned out for PSG away, and then how many poor results after that against clubs that we just should have been absolutely dominating. And so I think that's the biggest thing for Ole, and particularly with Daniel James talking to Ryan Giggs about the move. I'm sure they would have done their homework with Wan-Bissaka as well. But I think you're bang on, mate. I think that he's sort of instilling in that the players that he can get through to, players that he knows have what it takes, and certainly there's going to be some growth, like you said. Certainly, whenever it came in, he struggled. He came in January and struggled for that first half of the season, but there's gonna he's looking at I think he's got his head on. I think Ole's got his head on right, and I think he's gonna bring in players who also can get through to, like you said, and really that will want to be challenged by playing for United.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, it does look like that way. I totally agree. He is, so you got to give him a little bit of credit. I mean, I still won't forgive Ole if he hasn't got rid of the players that need to be getting rid of out of this club at the moment. I'm going to go into that now in terms of players coming in. There's not much more we can talk about. We all know who's rumoured to be coming in. We all know who we want to come in. But the major issue that I have at the moment is, and I know a few are going to leave now because contracts are ending on the 1st of July, and this week could be a massive week, especially with the people going out of the club, because we all know training starts tomorrow, July 1st. It's another week then until we fly out to the Far East to do the pre-season tour. And there's some players coming back to that training ground this week who probably don't want to be coming back to the training grounds, and they've made it quite clear this summer. I'll start with my mate, and that isn't... I'm not saying that just because I just don't like it. I mean, he has got a proven record in terms of goal scoring, but for me, Romelu Lukaku thinks very highly of himself, and for me, thinks way too much of himself in terms of where he should be and what his level is actually, where his level is actually at. And to see him in that other post there, he's made it clear that he wants to leave, but the picture on social media of him in the blue and black t-shirt, obviously we all know he wants to go into Milan. He's come out and said that Antonio Conte is the best manager in the world, who's obviously at Inter Milan. He's in Inter Milan colours on his social media post. For me, the guy's taking the piss and actually needs out of this club as soon as possible. I don't know where you stand. I mean, I backed Lukaku. I thought he had a good first season, but after sitting there watching him week in, week out last season, I'd had enough of him. I just don't see us moving forward. And going back to Ole's mentality and what Ole needs in terms of buying players to fit his mould and to fit his style going forward, obviously that works the other way as well. If there's players that are not going to fit that mould and not going to work in how he wants to go forward, then them players have to go. And Lukaku, for me, Nick, Tim, he's got to go, mate.
Yeah. You there, mate?
Yeah, can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. Go on, Lukaku, mate. Sorry, I lost a bit of reception then.
Yeah, mate. No, it's okay, mate. It's bound to happen. Transnational. No, I agree, mate. Look, he definitely had some good spells for us last season in terms of stretches of games where he was able to put goals together. But in terms of you're right, what he's contributing to the team and the way that Ole wants to play. I think Ole's hands were sort of tied at times last season, and certainly through injury in terms of players that he had available. And I think with the type of players that Ole's bringing in, I don't think that Lukaku fits that mold. You need a type of player in that position that, and some of the lethal strikers we've had over the years where they might get one chance and you've got to finish. And some of the chances that he misses, the guilt of that chances that he misses, free headers, falls with his feet in the box, and just squandering chances. And you just sit there and wonder, is this guy really a United player? And I just don't think he is.
Yeah, no, mate, no. In total agreement with that. I think the way he's talking and the way he's performing definitely don't marry up, and he's one who definitely needs to be out the door. A few people in the comments completely agreeing with both of us on that one and saying, obviously, if Lukaku does leave, which looks highly likely, hopefully, then obviously nailed on, apparently, according to reports, is Ben Yedder which we obviously know from when he tore us a new one, that this guy has got a lot about him and is definitely a player who adds a lot more than what Lukaku does. Have you seen much of the likes of Ben Yedder? Do you see much of La Liga over there? Tim, is it elite? Because we've been sort of starved of La Liga action in terms of where we can actually watch it now that they've set up their own sort of system of who can their own broadcasting system with the Spanish league. Do you get to see much of the players who play in Spain?
Yeah,
and have you seen much of Ben Yedder?
I haven't seen too much of him. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of him, but I haven't seen too much of him. We do get a lot of La Liga games here, but just with, I mean, my focus being primarily on the Premier League. Obviously, I do watch the leagues, but yeah, no, I think he'd be a fantastic signing. No doubt about it. I mean, you come from the ilk of La Liga and Sevilla, and you know, a quality player. Intrigued by the other one that I'm intrigued by, though, that I got to be honest about, is where do you stand on the Aubameyang rumor?
Yeah, no, I mentioned that in my.
We'll get into that next, or
yeah, I did. I had to giggle a little bit about that one the other day, to be honest, because we all know. I mentioned it in my last video when the Bazaka video when Bazaka signed, and other players that are rumoured to be coming in. That was a crazy rumour. That I don't want Aubameyang at my team at United. I mean, Ben Yedder is late 20s on his own, obviously already, and we are looking at younger players. Aubameyang has gone 30 now, and isn't as good as what people think. Yeah, he is an instinctive striker and will score more goals than Lukaku, in my opinion. He would. But in terms of the way Ollie's moving, I honestly cannot see Ollie looking at a player of the ilks of like Aubameyang, the over 30 striker going forward now. It just doesn't suit the way he's actually moving and the way he's talking in this summer window. And for me, Aubameyang is 100% no-go for United. There are better options for us out there. I mean, I'd rather see Greenwood play more of a role than bringing in Aubameyang, wasting money there. We do have possible options in our forward line. It's just, I think our money is better spent with the midfield and with the defence at the moment. I do think we do have a few more options up our sleeve up front. I mean, we could always play Martial as a centre forward if Lukaku leaves. Again, no, that brings me on to the point of
the thing with Ben Yedder. One last point with Ben Yedder that you're gonna get is, I mean, the guy's a proven goal scorer in that league, and you know, I think that's something that you haven't always seen from Lukaku. I think when I looked at Ben Yedder's line the other day, I think he had 41 goals in 54 appearances. So in the last, like, whatever the last calendar year I think it was, I can't exactly remember, but I mean the guy's basically close to a goal a game, which, I mean, you can't beat that. He's just a terrific player.
Yeah, he is. He's undoubtedly quite. I mean, we've seen exactly what he did to us when they played us. And it was, I mean, to be honest, any striker would make the Chuckle Brothers look average, wouldn't they? But to be honest, the game was going nowhere until that guy came on. I was like, whoa, it's different calibre straight away. It was clear as day. It was just like day and night, basically, in terms of style and quality. And I do think if he doesn't end up going to United this summer, I do think he'll be at another club anyway, because there's no way that guy isn't being snapped up by one of the big teams around Europe this summer. It's definitely not. Right. And then going on to talking about our forward line again, I just wanted to get your opinion on, I've talked about this a lot before, and we've done a couple of videos on this, and I've had a few opinions on it, but our forward line does include the likes of one of the Beans brothers, as I call them now, and that being Jesse Lingard, the potential man, who is now hitting his late 20s and hasn't got any better. Had one good season under Mourinho, granted, but where do you stand on the likes of Lingard? Tim, is he one for the out list, as it is many other Reds out there? Just quickly on Lingard with you.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it pains me to say it, like you said, I mean, how many years have we heard about the potential of Jesse Lingard? And like you said, people still talk about him like he is an academy player. I mean, how many seasons of regular first team football as he had. Like you said, he's in his late 20s. It's time to start producing the goods consistently.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, then if you can't bring that level of consistency, then it's time to move on, mate. I'm sorry. And, I'm not against the players obviously being on social media, but you see some of his off-field antics as well, particularly with that video that he just had on his Instagram. I mean, where's your head at, mate? Where's your head at? So, yeah, for me, he's on the out list as much as it pains me to say it.
Yeah, and obviously the biggest one of all in terms of possible outs, it does look now like De Gea is going to sign a new deal. There's a lot of rumours about that happening now. He's gone under the radar completely this summer, which is a total difference between a proper professional and the likes of Lingard, in my opinion, because we've not heard one word from De Gea all summer. He's just kept his head down and cracked on. But obviously the big one, the big news, and he will, I'm not sure if Pogba is back or if he has got a little bit extra time because of the international duty. I don't know if he's back tomorrow, but he will be back obviously for the tour if he is still a United player. And that has gone a little bit quiet recently in terms of Pogba. It's looking now like Juventus, who were favourites for Pogba because of financial fair play situation with Madrid, and Madrid having no one to offload who's worth buckets amount of money to replace, to put in the pot to buy Pogba. But Juventus now, they've got Ramsey on a free, Rabiot's gone in on a free. They've still got a quality outfit there already. I actually am looking at it now thinking Pogba's kind of shot himself in the foot here now because he said something too early, and there's going to be a lot of United fans, most of them already, as we've seen, on Pogba's back from the way he performed and the way he was going into the end of the last season. And now he's coming back to training, and these moves don't look like they're... I mean, anything can happen in the transfer window, we know, but it's not looking likely now with everything that is going on. I can't see Juventus finding room for Pogba now. I know that's a silly thing to say. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson's famous line was, when there's a world-class player there, we'll always find room for him. But right now, where is Juventus' wage at? Where are their finances at? Because for what they've got in there now and the wages of like Ramsey and Rabiot, I know they're on a free, but them players aren't going there to sit on the bench. And if Pogba comes in, then I just can't see it happening now. Now we've got this issue, because since Pogba said what he said, I've been a full-on, Pogba needs to be out of the club because he's not going to have his heart in it. Where is this guy's head now? And I've put it to everyone else in the comments as well, because I think this is a bit of a worry for us now going forward, because all he's got is players that he's got coming in. But like I said, the main issue now is the players that we should be getting out, the likes of Jones, Smalling, Rojo, these sort of players, they're all being forgotten about because we have another major issue, which is Paul Pogba now, and whether he should actually be playing in this team. There's going to be some serious conversations at Carrington Training Ground this next couple of weeks with a lot of players, and that is number one again, Paul Pogba, top subject again for all the wrong reasons, mate. I mean, since the news broke, where have you been on that one, Tim, in terms of Pogba? Does he have to go? Like I said, do we have to find a way to get rid of him now because of what he said and his mentality again? Where's his head at going into this season? Is he one we can actually work around and get back round to playing for us again? Where do you see it?
Whether we can get him back round long term to playing for us, I don't know. But I don't think that he's a player. I mean, it's a massive part of the team, and he led the club in so many categories last season. As poor as the performances were, some of his individual performances were, in terms of goals and assists. He is our main man, and we've seen what happens when you can get him playing well in that first 12 games after Ole took over. When you get him playing well and you get him moving in the right direction with the rest of the club before they lost their way, I mean, the man was a machine. So I think I kind of had it. I remember years ago when Ronaldo was wanted to move, and he kind of did the same thing where they asked him in the transfer window, are you moving? And he came out with a line along the lines of, well, I'm a Manchester United player, but no longer, you don't know. And it was kind of the same thing, like, right, if you don't want to be here, just get gone. But Ferguson sort of, you know, fan the flame, like calm things down a bit, and met with Ronnie in the summer and talked him around and said, look, give us one more season, and then we'll allow you to go to Real Madrid. And that kind of put an end to things. And I think you're right. I think they need to really just get a hold of Pogba at Carrington. Ole needs to, part of stamping your authority on this club is being a tremendous manager, as Ferguson was, and as other great managers are, managing players, personalities, and just getting a hold of them, and something definitely isn't right there, and they've just got to figure out exactly what it is. And then, if you can sort of bet them into the squad that they're trying to build this season, and now, it's going to take a couple more transfer windows for us to be contending for titles and Champions League titles. But if you can get back into the Champions League, into the top four, get them settled into the team a bit again, and then maybe see where you stand next season. To replace a player of that quality is going to take, you're not going to be able to do that in the time that's left in this transfer window. So I think if you're United, you want to do everything you can to hang on to him this transfer window, have him play out this season. I wouldn't move him in January as well, and then I would look towards, if things still aren't going well, I would look towards maybe trying to, honor his request and move next season if that's the case. But they're in a bad situation, mate. Like you said, there's no two ways about it. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's been the ultimate worry for me in terms of what is going to actually happen if Paul Pogba doesn't leave, because what are the players thinking? What are the fans think? How are the fans going to react to it? There was enough bad blood as there was last season, especially in the crowds in the away games that I was at, and the away fans are usually United's the most important fans and the ones that give the players the backing more. But I felt it in the away games that I was at last season, that the bad blood towards some of the players, and Pogba especially, got a lot of stick last season, an awful lot. Most of it was unfair compared to some of the other players that were getting away with it. We got the obvious issues that the likes of Rashford, Young, the English academy players weren't getting ratted out. I got pulled that every time I slagged Martial off, I was avoiding the Rashford subject. But there wasn't one of our forward line who performed better than the other last season. They were all, and obviously we're looking now at the contracts that are being rumoured and the new deals that are supposedly coming out for some of these players. I think I'm with you at the moment, mate. I think Pogba is probably going to end up staying another season. Whether that's going to be good for us or bad, I do not know. Is that going to affect our transfer targets right now? I do think that this is affecting our transfer strategy right now, and has got right in the middle of it, because I thought we would have had a couple more midfield signings, especially down and signed sealed. But obviously we just have no idea where Pogba and what deal Pogba's doing, because we've been linked with quite a few midfielders, obviously Longstaff and Fernandez especially, with the little links with Tielemans, who I would like at the club. I think he's a quality player. But if Pogba stays, this all goes out the window. The whole transfer plan goes out the window in terms of midfielders anyway. Would that force us to spend a little bit more money in defence where we drastically need it? The main problem we've got is where we're prioritising more this summer. There's no reason why we shouldn't have started getting the players that we wanted out and the deals sort of already worked on before the actual season finished. The work should have started then. That's obviously where the director of football, or lack of, comes into the argument. But for me, Pogba being at the club, it creates an issue. It creates a problem for United now going forward, because like I said, where are the players at? If he has said what he said, doesn't want to be there but walks straight back into that team, what sort of reaction are the other players going to have towards that? What does that tell the other players? Is it that if you kick up enough of a stink, Ollie's going to bend over and give you what you want? Is Ollie the yes man, the one I keep going on about all the time? As much as I see where he wants to go with the younger blood, and I do like it, he has to have more to his managerial game in terms of actually, if it's hiring another member of staff to help out, to deal with certain things, then so be it. But this is where I think it's going to let Ollie down for these likes of situations like Pogba, Lingard, Lukaku, who are walking all over the club with nothing happening, with no repercussions at all, and they're getting away with absolute murder and making us all look like idiots. And for me, that's my one worry with Ollie, Tim. I'll be honest, mate, that he hasn't got the bottle for certain situations, and this situation now has taken over everything else.
Yeah. No, it's certainly it's his first real sort of say massive test in terms of dealing with what is you're right, and absolutely it's a situation that you don't want to have to deal with, and he's got to get it right, because on top of trying to build a team and bring in the players that he wants that way, he's got to get them settled. And I mean, ultimately, results are the thing that make things better. We all know that. I mean, obviously, if United comes out flying out of the traps this season and they're putting points on the board, and they're challenging for things early, then a lot of these issues probably go away. But if Pogba stays, then it's certainly something that's going to be present all season as well. And you know as well as I do what the English press is like, and it's not going to be something that they're just going to let go even if United is playing well. So with what Ole is trying to do and the atmosphere that he's trying to change at the club, and trying to get players in and bed them properly, and get everybody prepared to play every week. It's just another massive distraction that you just don't want to have to deal with when you're dealing with all of that. And it's a big test for him. It's a really big test. As far as who he's got around him to help, I mean, he's got some obviously experienced backroom staff, to assist him. But in terms of, he's the captain of the ship, so to speak. So in terms of getting things right, ultimately it's his head if things don't work out.
Yeah, it's.
I think you're right. I think it's a concern.
It is. It's a massive concern, but there is. It means there's light at the end of the tunnel for United, and we can all see it. We know we're happy with the signings that we've made so far. If more signings were made, and the obvious ones that we all know we need, then the atmosphere would pick up. People would actually start getting a little bit more positive in terms of how we can see United moving forward. The problem I've had, the people I've spoke to, and people who contact me on social media, that there is a severe lack of positivity. It's going to start coming out of everyone, because we're not seeing exactly what we want to see on the pitch. We're not seeing what we want to see off the pitch in terms of recruitment and the speed of it. Even if we are buying players, I mean, we want them done and dusted. We want to see Ollie working with his new squad already ready made. But these issues going into pre-season could scupper that a little bit. But there is still positive things to look at. I mean, does look like the way Ed Woodward was talking, that we are going to buy more players. We are looking to get a few more players in. So I'm just going to put it to you, mate, in terms of your expectations now of players coming in to United. What would your ideal finale be to this pre-season this summer now, ready for the season? I'll leave out the players who should be leaving, because it just gets a bit complicated. But for players coming in, ideal now situation for you, who would it be? What players, what positions? What's your perfect sort of finish from where we are now to the 9th of August when this window shuts? What is your ideal scenario now, Tim, mate?
Well, I think for me, like I said, the bar was pretty low coming into this transfer window as far as what we've seen from Ed in the past. You and I talk on Twitter. I'm pretty critical of him. Ed and Board on Twitter, but I think that it is a positive. Certainly the two signings that we've made. I think that for me going forward, I know we need wingers. For me, it always starts with the spine of a club, and I think that getting to his contract situation sorted, and then getting his head right. Last year some of the mistakes he was making towards the end of the season were just diabolical. So getting him right, getting him sorted in the transfer window as far as a new contract is paramount. Bring in a center back, and as I said, we hope it would be that way. I just think that he would pair well with Lindelof. I mean, the one thing that I don't know if Lindelof has is can he be that dominant in terms of personality and really marshalling a back line. I don't know if he can. So I think another center back that can come in and play alongside him and be sort of the alpha dog in that center back pairing. And then I think Bruno Fernandes deal with how close we are to getting that one over the line has got to be done. Got to get that done, and then that just sets you up really well with a nice spine in terms of keeper through midfield, and then ideally getting the forward position sorted out. But I think that as much as we want United to turn up and just blow teams out of the water in terms of goals and certainly play attacking football, if we can sort out some of the defensive issues, midfield through to the keeper, I think that will set us up. And even if we don't bring in a forward this window, at least we've addressed that. Those really diabolical defensive errors that we saw last season.
No.
That one for me, that for me, a center back and the Bruno Fernandes deal for me are a must.
Yeah, I think a few people definitely agreeing with you in the comments there. Let's go through a few of the comments. Ndidi would be a great signing, I think. We have been linked with Ndidi. He's another option for, obviously, centre back. Devil's Aces with that one. Centre back, CDM, and a right winger. Yeah, that one has come up. It's obviously the clear, like we said before, exactly the issues that we all know need to be rectified are the ones that are on everyone's lips in terms of the players that need to come in. So yeah, that definitely marries up to a lot of people that are saying. I know we are having quite a few issues with the sound tonight, people. I know a few people have commented on echo and everything like that, but I'm just trying to sort it out. But yeah, the next time we do this, it will obviously be a little bit better. But yeah, sorry about any sound issues at all tonight, people. Yep, I will get that sorted.
Just blame it on the Canadian.
Yeah, it's the Canadian's fault. Yeah, you can blame him. A couple of other comments. Longstaff, Fernandes, Diop will all improve. Will all be improvements. We are not in a position to be choosy. Yeah, it's fair enough point. I can understand people, but
I think you do to an extent, though. I think you got to be choosy to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be like we've
seen United settle for players in the past. So
yeah, we said it ourselves. We need to be playing and picking players that Ollie wants to play a certain way. Aquando says, Adam, I think it's a good idea to keep hold of Pogba for another year to help attract better players before he leaves, ideally at the end of the summer transfer window 2020. It's a fair enough point. I do think that will be forced upon him anyway, the way it's going. Devil's Aces, Lozano, 40 million would be an absolute snip. Yeah, United fan Lozano has been brought up numerous times on live streams in the comments that we cannot understand why we're not going for a player like that. It's one of them, innit? We just have no idea what is going on. We're all guessing most of the time anyway. But the players that we know we all need are the issue, basically, because we're talking exactly the way we think it should be, but Ollie's going in a completely different direction. I mean, I didn't see Daniel James last season in terms of a player coming to United. Wan-Bissaka I did at the end. I thought he would be a player that would suit us, but Longstaff, where did that one come from? No idea. And again, the Diop from West Ham that has been linked with United again. I didn't see that one coming. So everything that we say is completely. It just seems to be completely spun around by United and the way Ollie's thinking, but then when Ollie's targets do come out, we can actually see where he is going with it. That is a positive going in because we can actually see where he wants to go. Whereas with managers previous, it does look like it's hellfire. It's all over the place in terms of the players that we are actually bringing in. This actually looks like there is a sort of strategy to it. So that is one positive, and I'm going to keep rolling with that until the season starts because we need to be as positive as possible because there isn't much to shout about, I'll be honest, at the moment, because again I went yesterday to the so-called United Glazer Out protest where nobody turned up. It was a shambles basically. We had about 50 people turn up there. Everyone's saying what they're saying on social media and going on saying we need to do this, we need to do that, but unless it actually people, you know what I mean, actions speak louder than words, and that was a disaster yesterday, and it just shows United do have everything worked out the way they want to, or the way the Glazers want to, because they were looking down at that yesterday and they were laughing. They closed the megastore because they said there was going to be a massive protest. No one turned up. There was people working there on site who we spoke to there yesterday who said that they were told they had to finish at a certain time because there was a massive protest going on. And it just looks embarrassing. It just looks like it's going to be forgotten about. And again, all mouth, all social media, keyboard warriors, and obviously I'm clinging on to exactly as much positivity as I possibly can, because there isn't much else going on at the club at the moment, and it is what it is. We're just stuck at the moment. Are the Glazers going to spend any more money? No, I don't think they will spend as much as what we should and what we all know we should be spending. They're going to spend enough to keep us just relevant and actually in that top four sort of race where the money is coming. And that's exactly it. I mean, it's the City fan on the comments there saying the protests were a joke. I said it myself, I can't really disagree with that. It's funny seeing a City fan in the actual comments, but yeah, thanks for coming on anyway. Adam set that up. He tried to organise, people going about the guy who organised it and stuff like that, but at the end of the day it was out there and they communicated with the police and the club, and it was a no-go. It was a dead end, unfortunately. Whether someone else will try it again, I do not know, but it was a bit of a mess, a bit of a shambles. But yeah, I'm going to finish up the video there, just let people get to their evenings. I just want to say thank you for everyone who commented in the comment section on the side there below. Obviously, sorry about the sound issues that we have had. We'll get that all ironed out for the next time we do. I don't know if it's because it was an international call or whatever. We have had a bit of an echo issue going on as well. Sorry about that, people. People asking about Paul. Paul is fine. He's with his family this weekend. Don't worry, Paul. We'll be back on another show coming up very soon. I just want to say thanks to Tim for coming on, mate, and staying with us, giving us your thoughts, mate. Obviously, Tim's social media tag is there at the bottom of the screen. Also, people, if you wanted to speak to him about anything else, or if you found him mildly interesting, let's put it that way, and his thoughts of United. But, that basically rules everything. I'm going to finish the video there, people. Thanks for tuning in and watching again. I will be back in a week with updates on how this pre-season is going. Training started. Rumours coming out of the club as always. I will catch you all later. Enjoy the rest of what's left of your weekend. I know yours is still on Sunday, sort of morning time there, Tim, so you got a bit to go yet. But yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you through the week. Thank you very much.